What's up guys, it's Project, and just some quick news. Elden Ring has finally revealed the official PC specs needed to run the game with both minimum and recommended. And oh boy, the requirements are insanely high, even for minimum, and might make you reconsider if you're gonna get this on PC versus console. So let's dive right in. Here they are. We'll start with the minimum. i5 CPU, pretty standard. But look at the RAM, 12 gigs of RAM. That is insane for the minimum, and likely will be the bottleneck for most who still have the old 8 gigs. And pretty much out of all the comparisons I'll show today, this is the highest minimum ever. And for GPU, 1063GB, not bad, sort of standard for the modern AAA games. And now moving to the recommended. Goes up to i7 8700K, which I think that is pretty high too, but not that bad. I have a 10K or some shit, so pretty higher end. And then the RAM, 16 gigs. Most people have this in higher end PCs. They're not really rocking the 32 gigs majority, so the fact that the game's recommended might use all 16 gigs of RAM is pretty scary a little bit. And for GPU, 1070. So clearly the takeaway is, if you put all your money into GPUs like every PC guy tells you and neglect the rest of the parts, this game might be tough to run. Now let's compare those specs to other games. Here's Sekiro in 2019 for PC. As you can see, way easier to run. Even the recommended is below the minimum of Elden Ring. And I mean, it has Windows 7 as the recommended operating system, for crying out loud. The GOAT. And that's From's last game, so a massive jump in size, graphics, complexity. Yeah, Elden Ring is gonna be huge. How about something a little bit more recent though, like Monster Hunter Rise earlier last month? And again, the recommended is under the minimum that Elden Ring is requiring. How about Halo? Okay, Halo is basically on par as far as recommended, 16 gig RAM, i7 87, but again, the minimum is the main step to get over for many PC players, and Halo only needs 8 gigs of RAM. And the last one is an open world game for comparison, so New World. Can you contest? It's still easier to run in Elden Ring. It's got the same RAM on the higher end, but way easier to meet CPU and GPU requirements. So just wanted to give you guys some comparisons so you can see how fairly beefy your rig will need to be to run the game. If you could run the games I mentioned before, well, more specifically Halo and New World, you're probably fine. But otherwise, maybe consider PS5 or Xbox Series X. As according to Digital Foundry and the CNT, a few months ago, the game ran at above 55 FPS usually on foot, and about 45 with the horse in some places in FPS mode, and likely will get more optimized in the full game compared to that older CNT build. As far as resolution, FPS mode did have dynamic resolution, but quality mode was locked at native 4K that still ran above 30 FPS, which again, that might be improved, or at least locked to 30 FPS instead of like sort of 37 and stuff like that was in the CNT. There was a recent hacking fiasco in DS3, which is said to not be a problem in Elden Ring, but we can only hope that will remain the case. But those are the specs for Elden Ring for PC. What do you guys think? Does this news change anything, or will you risk it for the biscuit in hopes of mods and better graphics? Let me know down below and give the video a like. I have a tips video out probably tomorrow, and I have a couple more Elden Ring vids if you care to check them out. But that's all from me. Subscribe for more Elden Ring epicness.